I think the future has to be.
I think the future would look like.
I think that the future will look like.
Yeah, I think the future will look like something very different than where we are now.
People understanding that fundamentally that there's a relationship or connection with nature and respecting that relationship and not exploiting it until it's on the brink of collapse.
There's two possibilities for me. It's one possibility is definitely things going in a sense of nature really taking its course as it's doing right now, and humans are fighting a losing battle if we continue this way.
A world where we bridge gaps between generations, between nature and human beings, between international processes and local processes. I think we have to think a global way. And I think this will be the best way to create an inclusive and respectful society for us and for the environment.
I think the future is bright because we're going to have people who care about the climate. We're going to have so many people acting on climate change because right now there are so many people who are already coming together against climate change. So I think we're going to have a greener future. We're going to have a future whereby everyone takes care of the environment, everyone keeps the environment clean and cares about the climate.
It's simply not possible to continue what we've got now, so I think it has to be radically different, and I don't know about how this process will be going in the next 30 years, but I would say after 30 years, I think human society's got to be living in harmony with nature, or it's just, there's no other choice.
I think there's two scenarios. One scenario is, which I hope we wouldn't achieve, but is that the international community and the private sector cannot find a way together on limiting greenhouse gas emissions, and we will have, unfortunately, more natural disasters, extreme weather, and also a bad situation.
In that future, those that will lose out will be the poorest people, people who are already being marginalised, whether that's indigenous communities, whether it's LGBTQ groups, people that aren't really listened to right now. I think it's just unfortunately going to get worse for them.
There's also a second scenario, which I strongly believe in, which is that public sector, private sector, and the international community works together, and we find a solution to limiting climate change to less than 2 degrees, and we will live in a happy world ever after.
I hope the future will be a lot more positive than I've already described. And even if the future isn't overall that positive, I really hope that a lot more people, and especially governments and leaders, will really start shouldering their responsibilities and their historic responsibilities in terms of emission reductions and also in terms of nature conservation, conserving wild places, and also conserving green spaces in urban areas that are so important for everyone.
And we won't be living in this artificially created environment that we have today, where our food magically appears from the other side of the world, and that we're in artificial climates like we are now.
I think the future looks like a green and clean with renewable energy, no oil, no gas, no fossil fuels anywhere in sight. We'll be biking around, we'll be working collaboratively, and intergenerationally we'll be working together to mitigate what's already been done to our climate and working towards an even cleaner future.
And in the future, I believe that we will transition from extractive practices like extracting fossil fuels and oils, and we will use solar energy and clean energy as a way to sustain ourselves.
Well, I think future looks like quite different than now. It will be a very simple life, but with the simplicity we will gain, we will have a richness out of it. We will be more connected to nature, we will be more connected between us.
I want to believe that we're all going to be there, like centuries apart, and there's not going to be poverty, there's not going to be, the system is going to be so different, the capitalism is going to be dead, we're not going to require money anymore, race is not going to be an issue, of course global peace. I mean, it's like an utopia, but I think that's the future that's worth fighting.
In this world, I think the people who are going to lose out are the people who don't adopt change. The people who stay in the past and try and hold on to what can't be anymore, what's not sustainable.
we have to go back to the indigenous old ways, being one with the earth, being one with each other, and going back into the circle, and going back into the times where we really knew who we are and what we're here for and where we belong into the whole ecosystem.
We don't have another chance than going back to nature and going back to simplicity, because sort of all the growth we had now and all the waste, it cannot continue.
It's time to come together and move towards a better future for our generation.